Yo guys, what's up and welcome back to the Marvelous Chats podcast. This is episode 168. Tonight on the cast is myself, Finto, and Alex aka Zebrolf. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment below if you're watching a replay, and without further ado, here we go. What's up, dude?
Hey man, how you been?
Super quick intro today, because if you're watching this on YouTube, you've probably seen the thumbnail. There's like just a bunch of random shit in it. I don't really know like what's going on. We're kind of off the cuff this week. There's no new shows. There's no new movies really out at the moment that I've seen anyway. Maybe you might have something else on that you can talk about. But for me, I'm kind of trying to just delve out into a new world of TV and watching some movies and stuff like that. This is kind of like a bit of a null period. And funnily enough, I think this happened to us last year as well around the same time, because I remember when season 3 of The Bear came out, I remember there was like a podcast before it came out that like we had like nothing to kind of talk about. So I think we did a kind of similar stream to this. So it's kind of funny. I'm seeing the trends of the release schedules and stuff. And it seems like, June seems to be a bit of a quiet month before like the summer blockbusters and, some summer TV kicks off and stuff like that. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll kind of just shoot the shit and see how we get on. Appreciate anybody who's in the pre-chat. What's up, everybody? Thank you for liking the stream and hanging out with us. And if you're listening to us on a replay, appreciate you as well. How have you been, man? We haven't talked in like 2 weeks. So have you any news? Have you seen any new movies, watching any new TV shows, anything like that?
So yeah, no, like I've just been busy with work. Just been doing a lot of work. I haven't even had time to stream really. Like I've just been
I haven't
really,
seen
really
you.
busy.
I was going to say, I haven't seen you online at all. Like, because I have I even have I have like a bot in my Discord, and I have a few people set up, and like you're one of the people I've set up. So I see notifications in my Discord when you go live. So I was like, oh, I haven't seen him go live in a while. So yeah, I presumed you were busy with work. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like really, really trying to keep myself going for a while. Just trying to get as much as I can done and like get accounted for work and whatnot. Because I felt like it was getting really dry for a while, and then all of a sudden, like now I've got like 3 or 4 stories like for the next sprint and whatnot, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't do this. I can't do this right now. I gotta go do this. So now I'm like actually busy.
yeah.
Um, so it's kind of nice. Like I'd rather be busy than not busy, you know?
I say the same thing every week, man. Like I had to do. So the manager of my team, like my team leader, went on annual leave, and he asked me to kind of step in and take his role while he was gone. So I was kind of leading my team for like a week or two, and I noticed, like, again, I never really looked into it before, but I didn't, because I didn't really care. But I was looking into like a few of my colleagues and like how busy they are during the day and like what their
Mhm.
workloads are like and stuff like that. And obviously before that, I just kind of focused on my own stuff. And if somebody asked me to help them with something, I would obviously happily do that. But I found that like there's a few people on the team that just like don't have the kind of like volume of work that I do. And I'm just like, how the fuck are these guys? Like, I'm not throwing shade at anybody or anything, but like, it's like, how the fuck are these guys like doing, like, getting their 7.5 hours a day? Like, what are they doing half the time? Like, because like, there's some people on the team that are like, they only have like 3 tickets on their board, whereas I could have like 15. And it's like, what the fuck are these guys doing all day?
Yeah.
So, um, I'm like, I'll always say it to people as well. Like, it's like, I would absolutely prefer to be, have 10 things to do. And, at least like your 7.5 hours are accounted for every day. And, you know what I mean? Like the days go a lot quicker rather than you either scrambling, looking for stuff to do to try and fill out your timesheet, or just sitting there twiddling your thumbs doing nothing, which in my opinion, both are terrible. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. BB, how are you? Appreciate you stopping in. You're unwell
Yeah.
currently
Well,
and watching on the sofa. Sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better.
yeah. I hope you feel
We
better, BB.
don't really have. We're gonna kind of shoot the shit tonight. So I have a few kind of topics to bring up. We've got a few new shows coming out in the next couple of weeks that we could maybe kind of be talk about and kind of hype up a little bit. Do you have anything you want to bring up, Alex, before we kind of kick into anything?
Nothing that I'm aware of. Just kind of shooting the shit. Just down to shoot
Yeah.
the shit. That's all.
Um, Things that I'm kind of looking forward to. I think next week. I think it's next week, or I think it's like the 26th, maybe. Which is actually a friend of mine's birthday. I think The Bear season 4 kicks off, And that's one thing
Hmm.
I'm very excited for. I only actually rewatched The Bear for like my third time, maybe a couple of weeks ago. I was kind of like, I need something to kind of watch while I'm on my lunch breaks and work and stuff like that. And I kind of just started tipping into The Bear again for my third time. And like, you can, I think the first like two times I watched it, I did season one nearly in a day. Like it's just like it's 6 episodes and they're like 30 minutes long. It's easy to do. Like, you kind of like before you know it, you're on like episode 5. And you're like, holy shit, I'm like over halfway through the series. But the show is just absolutely phenomenal. I love it. And like I'm not like a fan of like cooking, or I'm not a chef myself, but I just love watching them. I love watching the chaos in the kitchen and everything. Like, and I just think all the actors are brilliant. The characters are great, and just I've never been like sitting on my couch before watching a show and been like actually stressed out. And I think that the way that they portray the kitchen and everything is just on par. Like,
It's real. It's like damn
yeah,
near real.
it is. Like, and I think your man, what's his name, Matty Madison,
Jeremy.
the dude who plays the handyman in the show.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a real chef, and like he's like one of the producers of the show. So I think it's kind of like maybe loosely based on his life, but you can tell he has a lot to do with the show because it feels like it's written by chefs, like it's just
Yeah.
so on the nose. And I'm sure our buddy Rob can attest to this. It's like I'm sure his life is like this, so like I just love kind of seeing into the kitchen like that. I've no interest in doing it myself. I have a good friend who tried it, worked in a Michelin star restaurant at an early age and just said, no, I'm going back to school. Fuck this. I can't do this, so um I've always known how stressful it is in the kitchen, but getting to actually see it is just crazy. So I'm that's very high on my list for the summer. This summer, like, is The Bear season 4. I'll definitely be watching
Mhm.
it day one. Ironheart's coming out as well. MCU's new installment. I don't really know what to think about this show, but you know, we could be pleasantly surprised. I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath on it. Um, I kind of feel like it's just filler and maybe a story that probably doesn't really need to be told. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about how crazy it is that Rhodey, aka War Machine, who's been in the MCU since the very beginning. Like, he was in Iron Man 1. Like, Rhodey as a character has been in it since the very beginning. And he doesn't have a show on Disney Plus, but we're watching a show about Ironheart, who had 20 minutes of screen time in a sequel to a movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
she was a whisper in that film, and now she has her own show. But poor Rhodey doesn't have his own show. And I know Armor Wars was a thing that was um on the timeline, and then I think they decided to scrap it as a show and turn it into a movie. And rumors were flying that RDJ was going to be involved in some shape or form, so they had to turn it into a movie because he was going to be involved. They didn't want him on a TV show on Disney Plus. And now it just seems to be dead. I haven't heard anything about it in about 2 years now, and it's weird. Like, I think, like, we all kind of know the MCU is in a bit of a pit at the moment, and it's trying to get back out. I think maybe looking at the likes of Thunderbolts, like, I think the movie was good, but it just didn't perform. Like, no one went to see it.
Mhm.
It's the second lowest performing movie in the MCU ever, which is shocking. And I feel very sorry for everyone involved because it just doesn't deserve it. It was a good film, but just I think the fan base are gone. I think the normal fans are not spending the money. It's probably a situation like, confidence has been shattered, and it's like, I'll watch it on Disney Plus, for free because I already pay for Disney Plus or whatever, or I'll
Right.
torrent it for free or whatever. Like, they're not paying to see these movies, and that's rough. Um, like, the box office is kind of something that I wanted to kind of touch on today, and it's obviously kind of just naturally come up here now. But looking at like the new John Wick movie, like the ballerina movie with your one Nana de Armas, like, she's a big actress in Hollywood right now. She's
Mhm.
she's probably one of like the the top kind of female actresses right now in Hollywood, and that film has been out for 2.5 weeks now, and it hasn't even broke 100 million worldwide. That's rough, man. You
Yeah,
know,
that's unfortunate.
like I understand, a movie can be good and it just doesn't do well in the box office. That's fine, but when these movies are costing like 100 million to make, like that movie cost 100 million to make, which is a cheap movie these days, and it can't even make the budget back. Like it's scraping to make the budget back, and we know that the box office only makes the studios 50% at most. So they need to kind of at least double it, and then you got to talk about the marketing budget and so on. You're talking about tripling the budget to kind of break even. And this movie,
Hmm.
like, there's no way it's going to do it. Like, it's already seen, I think, between weeks 1 and 2, it saw like a 60 to 70% drop off in numbers between week 1 and 2. So, it's not magically going to jump back up and start doing week 1 numbers in week 3 and week 4. Like, it's usually, if it starts plummeting in week 2, it's done. That's usually how they go.
Right.
So yeah, I think if it makes 150 total, like that's the best it can probably do, and that's terrible. That's shocking, like because like
Yeah,
John
that's pretty bad.
John Wick is in the movie, like and he's a fan favorite, so it's like people just don't want to see these things, man. It's kind of scary. Um, I don't know if you saw as well, like The Accountant 2. Did you go see that one?
Yeah, I did go
Yeah,
see it.
I think I remember you talking about it when it first came out. I didn't go see it on the big screen, but I just watched it on. It got released on Amazon Prime, went straight to number one on the movie section over here on Prime. So like it's had
Hmm.
like a phenomenal success on the small screen, but on the big screen it didn't. Like it didn't really do too well box office wise. So it's like, do they start doing that? Like do they start just releasing stuff on like a streaming service and just hoping that it just starts making the money through streams and stuff like that if people can watch it for free,
Hmm.
like I think, is that the new model? Like, and a lot of the actors, I was watching interviews with Ben when they were making that movie, and he was like, this movie is great, I am really proud of it, and it's something that we wanted to release it on the big screen because it felt like a kind of blockbuster, and it felt like a movie that needs to be seen on the big screen. And they're the actors and the directors and stuff like that, like the writers and all, they're all still very much obviously in the mindset of you got to go see it, you got to go to the cinema, you got to go watch films. And like, I don't need my mind changed, but I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people have decided, I bought a nice TV during COVID and I've got a 5.1 surround sound system, why would I just pay $100 to go to the cinema? Me and the wife, why would I pay $100 for us to go to the cinema and get some food when I can just like watch it on Amazon Prime when it goes up, or watch it on Netflix or whatever? A
Hmm.
lot of a lot of people are in that mindset. So I don't know what they need to do to kind of break that. Obviously, there's going to be some movies that transcend it. Deadpool and Wolverine made nearly 1.4 billion, and I think it was because it was the return of Jackman. It was a spectacle. It was something that needed to be seen. The Minecraft movie is one of these movies as well that kind of transcended the whole kind of movie goer thing. It became like a spectacle. Like everyone wanted to go and see the chicken jockey thing, and became like a kind of meme to go to the cinema and start throwing popcorn around and going crazy. Like
Yeah.
it kind of just became something that you had to be a part of. And I think that's how these movies do good now. You can't just kind of release something and just hope that people will go see it, because it's not working. So I'd say it's a very scary time for them in Hollywood. I don't think they really understand why it's happening. Like, I was only just having a chat with my buddy Sean Talks Movies, and he put up this video about, there's a cinema here that are doing like a kind of reward system, save your save your movie stubs over the next like 4 or 5 films. Go to 4 movies, we'll give you the fifth one for free, sort of thing. So like
Right.
they're starting to do promotional stuff here, which I would have never seen before. But they're starting to do promotional stuff here now, like to try and get people to go to like 4 different movies to get tickets to a fifth movie for free, sort of thing. So like that to me, like kind of that smells like desperation to me. They're not getting the numbers in. Obviously, like kids movies do really well, and the tickets aren't that expensive in the morning shows and stuff like that. Like I really think like the cinemas are like pricing people out of going to the cinema. Like like for me and you and probably people that listen to this, we're going to go to see movies on the big screen. We're cinema goers. We're movie buffs. And,
Right.
for me, it's like DC are releasing a new Superman movie next month. Of course, I'm going to see it in IMAX in the best possible setting, the best sound, the best screen. I'll be sitting in like, I've already booked my tickets. I've got like my favorite seats in the screen, dead center. You know what I mean? Like, I will go and watch that movie in like literally the greatest possible way that I can physically observe that film, you know, because I'm gonna
Mhm.
that's what it means to me, you know. And the same with Fantastic Four, I'll do the same thing for that. So, but I know a lot of people won't do that. Like they're kind of half-assed. They don't really care. It's like they're not going to see everything on the big screen and so on. So I'd say I'd say it's rough for them. Like for me, I don't know what it's like for you nowadays, but like IMAX, like again, the big comic book movies, I'm gonna go see them in IMAX, and those tickets for me are, I think they're like 40. What is it, like 43 euros, including booking fee to pre-book tickets. So, and I had to pre-book tickets in the same week. I had to pre-book 2 tickets for me and her for Superman, and then a couple of days later, same thing again for the Fantastic Four movie. So I spent like nearly €90, which is close to $100, just on seats. And then, you know, each time we go, it's probably another $35 on food each time. You know, because obviously we go, it's a date night. We want to kind of get some popcorn, some drinks, some nachos, whatever. Like, you know, like we make a night of it. It's our date night. You know, it's rare for us to be without the kids these days, so we treat a trip to the cinema like a date. So it's like, you know, it's probably be the guts of $160 by the time the two films are done. Like that's a lot of money to expect, and for just two people. Like, can you imagine trying to bring a family of four
No, not at
to
all.
go see Fantastic Four? Like, Jesus Christ, bro! It's like a week's wages. Like, it's fucking insane. You know, I feel bad for people. You know, like because like, there's a lot of people, and I've heard this out of people's mouths myself. There's people who like adore going to the cinema but just can't afford it. Like they're being priced out of it. Like it's crazy. So
Yeah. Well,
something needs to change, man. Something needs to change. I think, and I think it starts with the studios. I think they need to start making these movies cheaper. Like hearing some of these budgets of like 3, 4, 500 million to make a movie, like it's kind of ridiculous. And they need to bring the cost down somewhere.
I mean, they're reaching a point where, you know, they just assume they can keep going up, and they
Yeah,
can't. And
yeah,
you know, maybe they get a hit, maybe they don't, but that's the risk that they should be willing to take. But if they're not, like, then, you know, that's why they constantly back out of things. And you know, when you see that, like, oh, all of a sudden there's not going to be a sequel to something, or if there's not going to be, like, they decide to cancel a few things just because some shows didn't work out well, like, I don't know, like, I feel like they're not willing to really put their money where their mouth is. Or
yeah.
even, like, maybe they just need to hire better people. Maybe they just need to hire the people, because it seems like, you know, I don't know if you've ever played the game, Claire, like Expedition 33.
I haven't played it. I know the game though. Yeah,
It, like, they, from what I understand, like, the team that worked on it was just like, hey, we kind of want to do this, and they're like, yeah, go for it, and it was a hit. And also, apparently, their music writer was someone from Reddit. Like,
that's cool.
it's just so cool if you can pull random people who are just passionate about, like, a certain aspect of that universe. Can you imagine, like, how big of a world it would make, even if it's just something small that they decide to work on?
Yeah, yeah. Like indie games right now as well are kind of blown up, and you know, it seems to me like if you've got a like passion really sells. You know, when somebody is passionate about something and they put something out, like you can kind of tell, like especially with games, you can kind of tell when something's just, you know, it feels like it's just, you know, let's get another title out, you know, let's slap this name on it, let's put no real care into a story, but like it's just kind of like, you know, the same shit over and over again, or
Mhm.
you know, it's a tick box exercise just trying to get shit out. Like I feel like, you know, like, and maybe it's a bad example, but like Call of Duty, like releasing a game every year, you know, it for a while there kind of felt like, oh, here's the next COD. Like, is there really a selling point to it? Like, I played the latest one, and like the story, like the campaign was actually great. I loved it. Like, I thought it was really good. Um, and that's kind of all that I do in COD these days. But you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some people will be like, "Oh no, COD's fucking great every year," but it just kind of feels like, "Oh, here's the new COD," and you know, there's another one coming out, and they just announced Black Ops 7, and you know, it's just like, ugh, it's a bit much. Like, you know, whereas like something like Schedule One comes out, it's made by like one random dude, takes over Steam by storm, and it's like, you know, because it's passion, it's one dude, you know, it just pops off. Like, and it was the same with Lethal Company. It was the same with like Repo. Like I play that game every Friday and with the community, and we just have like the time of our lives. Like it's so fun,
Mhm.
and it's just something that's so simple, you know. It's a really simple idea, just made with love, and just yeah, it just works, you know. And I think movies are the same, you know, when we see, and I think, you know, the fatigue of superhero movies when the quality's not there just seems to be hitting really hard right now. You know, like it's like I think I saw a stat where it was like of the last 13 MCU movies, only 6 of them crossed 500 million globally in the box office. Like that's to think, like if you think back to like 2018 Marvel where they couldn't get below a billion, it's scary to think even with inflation now that they can't even hit 500 million. And the movies are getting more expensive to make. Like look up what the budget of like Infinity War was, which like or Endgame, which like should be like the most expensive movies ever if you think about just the amount of actors and stuff in it and just like the sheer like you know like task in making those two films. I'd say
Mhm.
there's probably TV shows now that are costing the same amount of money to make. Like it's like where the fuck are they going with these budgets? Like you know like there's a running joke out there that it's like you know money laundering and embezzlement and all like and it's like people think that because like it's the only seems to be the only logical thing. Like, you know, we made the jokes at the time, but it's like, you know, Secret Invasion, the MCU show cost they say it cost 250 million to make, and they had like 4 locations in the UK, like some of them just blank warehouses that they just threw a few boxes and made dirty. And it was like that's the fucking location. It's like where's the 250 million going? Like, you know, like they only really had scrolls for like 6 minutes on screen, and there was like obviously the last episode had that big fight, and there was a lot of CGI in that, but that wasn't 250 million. Like, you know,
No, not at all.
Samuel L. Jackson's not getting paid that much money, guys. Come on, like what the fuck is going on here? Like, you know, so yeah, they need to cop the fuck on. They need to really just reevaluate this shit and just start making stuff as cheap as they can so that then they're not stuck trying to hit 500, 600 million and then everything's doom and gloom because it's like, fuck, this movie failed again. It's a flop because it didn't do the budget and whatever. Like, you know, because like, I know like a lot of people don't really give a shit about the money involved, but that's an important aspect of movie making. And that's all that fucking Hollywood care about, you know?
Mhm.
So, like you know we love these movies and you know something like the Thunderbolts, it's not going to really for 99% of the viewership they don't care how much money the movie made, they just want to know if it's good or not. But the problem is that if you get 5 or 6 Thunderbolts in a row, they're not going to make the movies anymore, you know. So it's like it is important because if they don't make money it's all going to go away. They're not going to start making them for free, or they're not going to start paying to make them. Do you know what I mean? Like they
Right.
need to start making money. So you know Fantastic Four is going to be an interesting one. If that movie like doesn't break 500 million, I think the MCU is in trouble because you know like this movie is directly lining up to Doomsday. You know you've got Pedro Pascal, and you know it should be a big movie. It's a summer blockbuster for them. Like realistically, it should be crossing 500 easily. Maybe you know 700 or 800. I'd say they're hoping for a billion. I doubt they'll hit a billion. Like I'd be shocked if they did. And then it's the same story with Superman. Like you know you're kicking off a new universe. If that movie flops, do they just like say fuck this? Like you know, like if Superman can't sell, like you know, what's the Clayface movie gonna do? You know, it's
Right.
like
Yeah, that's gonna be
yeah,
kind of
like
rough if it's not
yeah,
doing well.
exactly. So like those two movies, and they're like coming out within like a week of each other. And then I think like the Jurassic Park movies coming out like like within 4 weeks we have like 3 big gigantic blockbusters coming out. And with the way cinema going is right now, like a lot of people might, because it's so expensive, some people might have to make a choice. Like, I want to go see both of these movies. I can only afford to see one. What do I see? Do I see Superman or do I see Fantastic Four? Am I a bigger Marvel DC fan? Do I like Jurassic
Mhm.
Park more than I like the MCU? Like, you know, like that's where a lot of people are as well. Um, I won't go see Jurassic Park on the big screen. I'll happily watch it when it gets released digitally, but it's not a movie for me that I'm like I can't justify spending like $120 to go and see it or whatever it's going to cost us when it
Mhm.
all said and done. So and that's you know it's not that I don't have the money. It's just I feel like I could spend the money better elsewhere, and I think that's where a lot of people are. And something needs to change because I used to never think about it. You know, you know, like I used to be like, you know, do you want to go cinema tonight? Yeah, let's go. Like, and you know, it might cost 50 or 60 euros total, everything, food, tickets, petrol, fucking toll bridges, you know, whatever, parking, everything, like all in 50, 60 euros, 50, $60. And it was just like, you know, that's what it was. And you might even go out for a meal before or after. Now it's like crazy money, crazy money. It's like a weekend away now. It's fucking nuts. It's wild. I like honestly, man. I don't know what's going on. Um, do you have any expectations or anything for Ironheart? Like, are you looking forward to it all? Are you? I presume you're going to watch it. Are you?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I thought it was kind of interesting, when I took a look at when we took a look at the trailer together, I thought it was fairly interesting.
Mhm.
I didn't have this feeling of like distaste for the show in its entirety. I think Riri might be able to like pull through. Hopefully the actress who plays Riri does a good job, and hopefully the villains that are in the show like do a good job. That's all I care about, is really like portraying the characters more so than trying to essentially shoehorn the next movie, which I think a lot of these movies tend to do. Like if they know that they're not going to be able to make too much money, they try to like start slowly but surely like inching you towards that moment of like, oh, don't worry, we're going to be working on this movie, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that, which is fine. I think that when it comes to these movies though, it kind of like loses its luster over time, because now like they haven't really, I don't know, maybe I'm kind of rambling, but I feel like they haven't given us anything that's really like, oh my god, I can't wait for something new. It's like when like let me reiterate this. So when we first watched Iron Man or Thor or the Incredible Hulk, it was a very interesting moment, because when you first got Iron Man, you get the after credits where you see Nick Fury, and you know who Nick Fury is. If you're a fan of Marvel Comics, you know that like he's part of the Avengers initiative and whatnot.
Mhm.
And so that was a huge moment, because it's like, oh my god, okay, so they're gearing up to bring in all of these different characters, right? They're totally going to try to do that, right? And then you get the
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk, and the Incredible Hulk brings in Tony Stark, and Tony Stark is like, "What if I told you I'm making a team?" And it's like, okay, now they're really starting to get us like going forward on trying to make something. And then
Yeah.
you get Thor, and then you get like, you start getting all the characters that need to be introduced in the later run, because then you get Iron Man 2, and then Iron Man 2 has Natasha, and then you have like all like Thor has Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton, and you have all these different characters coming in, and you're like, oh my god, the Avengers are coming. The
Yeah.
Avengers are going to be a thing. And it was such a wonderful moment. It was like such a beautiful time frame for us to just enjoy this kind of bringing forward of these characters. Now, I didn't feel shoehorned because it was brand new, because it really brought us into this moment of like, oh my god, they're actually going to try and make a full on experience,
Yeah.
and give us, Marvel, and give us the Avengers, and then give us like little bits and pieces here and there. And they succeeded the entire way through until Endgame. And then somewhere along the line, it seems like part of their like philosophy just died. And
Yeah.
they weren't trying to introduce anything in particular. They were just like, hey, so we're just going to come out with like Moon Knight, we're going to come out with Miss Marvel, we're going to do all this stuff. And like I understand that they recently acquired the rights to Fox when they were doing Miss Marvel as well. So then all of a sudden you get at the end of Miss Marvel the whole like, oh, you might be a mutant, and it's like, and you hear like the little tinge of X-Men. It's like, and in my head I was like, I I don't know if I care, because this doesn't make sense. Like this character is not a mutant. This character is
Didn't
absolutely not a mutant.
didn't feel natural at all. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And it's like it's those moments of like, are you going somewhere? Or are you not going somewhere? Because remember when Hawkeye came out, and we got to see all that going on, and Kate Bishop, and we got to see like the growth period of those two. And then we get, was it Yelena, or was it Miss Marvel that was at the end of it?
In Hawkeye,
And Hawkeye at the very end.
Yelena shows up in like episode 4, and then she's in like 4, 5, 6.
No, no, no. I mean like after credit shit. Like at the very end of the series.
Um,
I think it was Kamala. and she was like, I'm setting up a team.
Oh, I think that was that not at the end of like a movie? That was that was an after credit scene in one of the
Was
films. That
it?
wasn't in,
Ah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
see,
it was
it
like
like
that was
that's
the
where my brain.
sorry. Yes, it was the after credit scene of the Marvels.
All
And
right, you're
Kate
right.
Kate Kate Bishop shows up and Kamala's like, I'm putting together a team or whatever. Did you hear Ant-Man has a daughter or something?
Which is
So
like it that didn't fit, considering
and
like you have a TV show that should have referenced another TV show, but then you get like a movie that references a TV show.
yeah, I think honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that got scrapped as well. If there's so many like after credit scenes that kind of lead to nowhere. I think there's a video, I must send it to you. I'll find it on YouTube. There's a video that someone's compiled of all of like the pointless after credit scenes and all the pointless references that never go anywhere. And
Mm.
it's kind of mad. It's crazy to watch it all in one go because you're kind of just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, and oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, like what's going on there? Like and it's like I suppose we just saw the hand, like the celestial coming out of the earth, but like it was like a space of what, like 4 years where like that wasn't even referenced in the MCU. Like one of the biggest events in human history, an alien coming out of the core of the earth, and it's like no one's talking about this. Like what the fuck, it's like so stupid. So I don't know, man. Like I think everything you're saying, I think Disney Plus is to blame for it. Like the old running, like the old CEOs of Disney were like, Netflix can do it, Prime can do it. Let's just start putting out MCU shows and start making billions of dollars, and everyone will watch it, and it's going to be great, and we can just make whatever the fuck we want. It doesn't really matter. We're on such a high right now, we can't lose. And then it's like, oh shit, okay, no, yeah, we can. Like it just started to massively drop. And like some of the
Right.
movies at the start were fine, like Spider-Man did well, and I think Thor actually did. Like even though Love and Thunder was a terrible film, it actually performed. And same with what movie was it? I can't remember. There was another movie. Obviously, Deadpool did great. There was another movie that did well, but it was, I think, Multiverse of Madness. That movie did like 800 million or something, like, which again is like in today's numbers phenomenal. But again, a lot of people kind of were on the fence with it. I personally love the film, but some people didn't really like it. They didn't like the want to turn an evil part because again, a lot of people didn't watch the show, so it's like, what the fuck? Why is Wanda evil now? It's the same with Captain America 4. Like people are like, what? Sam's Captain America now? What's going on? Where do you get that suit from
Mhm.
and all? Like, because they're not watching the MC, they're not watching the shows. Like, and there was an interview there during the week with James Gunn, and he mentioned about like the MCU becoming homework, and it's like like a lot of people have just checked out because it's become a task. It's become like, oh, this isn't enjoyable, but I have to watch this for the movie that's coming out to make sense, and it's becoming homework for people, and people are just like not having fun with it anymore. The fun's been sucked out of it. So I think that's kind of part of the problem too.
Exactly.
Too much content, not enough care, and then you know, it's just too much. Too much. Like again, I say it all the time, but like, I feel for my daughter when she turns 10 and it's like, hey dad, I want to start the MCU. I'm like, let's go. You've got 50 movies and 16 TV shows to watch, but let's get kicking in. It's a lot for people, like hopefully she's as much of a nerd as we are. She's gonna, that's gonna be music to her ears. But I could see a lot of people going like, I could see it scaring a lot of people off, And then
Right.
there's some people that just don't give a shit, like they'll go see the next movie and have never seen anything in the MCU before, and they'll have the time of their lives, and fair play to them. But I'm the type of person that I can't just like watch a random episode of a show. Like sometimes my mates will be like, "Oh, sit down and watch this with me." This is a new show I'm watching. I'm like, I can't just jump into something at like season 1, episode 17. Like I needed to watch it from the start. So that's me. But not everyone's like that, and I respect it. Um, yeah, like there was like a final trailer released for Ironheart, and I don't know, man. I'll watch it. I'll watch it with open eyes, or like with an open mind and an open heart, and I'm not gonna purposely try to shit on it. I'll give it the best shot possible, but it just looks like such a weird story. I don't really understand why the Hood is going against Ironheart, and I don't know if that's like was there like a little comic run that happened in the past, and they're kind of referencing that. I don't even know. It just feels like such a mismatch to me. It's kind of weird, and I feel like there's been other like times where it's happened as well, like where it's just been just really weird like mismatches and just stuff that just, you know, not the common kind of villains and stuff. And I suppose
Mhm.
I kind of understand that in a way. Like, do we want to watch like Batman fight the Joker for the 100th time, or it's like let's see him fight somebody else? So I kind of understand like they're trying to like change it up and stuff. That's one thing, but you know, like this dude, the main villain in the show is the Hood. He, for anyone who doesn't know him, he like gets his power from Mephisto, and he like is a servant of Mephisto, who's like the devil of the MCU. And you know, the show I think is going to start off quite tame and then jump into like this big like magical like dark magic fucking show. And but it's her trying to like create a suit, and she's just a student at MIT, and she's like the new Iron Man, and it's like I don't know, it just feels weird. It's like Iron Man with magic. It's just I don't know, it feels like a bit of a mismatch. Like should the Hood not be going against like Doctor Strange or Wanda, or you know, like keeping it in the Magic family or go in the Agatha show? Like it just kind of feels out of place, but maybe it'll make sense. Maybe it'll be good, but it looks like Riri's going to be like introducing like dark magic into her tech or something. So like that's going
Mhm.
to be kind of crazy to watch. Like could be good, could be terrible. Who knows? Let's find out. The show starts next Tuesday. There's 6 episodes total. There is 3 episodes airing on the 24th, on Tuesday the 24th, and then the 1st of July we have the last three. So they're doing it in 2 weeks, and that kind of screams to me
Jeez.
like, yeah, that kind of screams to me like, let's just get this out here and get it over with. I think if they were very confident in the show, they'd spread it out because they'd want to like try and take over the streaming charts over a number of weeks. Like
Mhm.
that's what they do. You know, it's all about the numbers, the Nielsen numbers, the charting numbers. They want to try and chart. And if the content is not good, they're just like, let's just get it out of here. Let's just like get it over with. If it charts for a week, great. If it doesn't, you know, so what?
Well, that sucks. I mean, it sucks to hear that they're not confident, or that you can kind of assume that they may not be confident, considering that they're just kind of just shoveling this out.
Well, the show, I think the show was like filmed in 2022, early 2023. I think it was
Mhm.
a finished product like late 23, and then it was put on the shelf. And now we're getting it 2 years later. So you got to ask yourself, you know, like if it was shelved for 2 years, like, why are we seeing it now? You know,
Mhm.
like are they kind of, not to say desperate, but are they just like, you know, oh look, we sunk this money and let's just put it out? Like personally, that's what I would do. Like, do you remember when DC canceled the Batgirl movie? Like they put 200 million into it, and they're just like, scrap it, we're not releasing it. At that point, like, it was finished, and it's like at that point, I'm like, just fucking release the thing. Like you put the money in. What's the worst that could happen? Like, you know, if it only makes 50 million, that's 50 million more than you had if you just shelve it forever and throw it away. So maybe they're in that mindset. Like, let's just throw it up, and if it gets, you know, 100 million minutes or whatever. I think they look for like billion minutes or something is like good for streaming times or something like that, or I
Mhm.
can't, or like 800 billion minutes like total or whatever it is. You know, if they can do that, great. But yeah, like I don't know, man. I don't have confidence in the show, and it feels like they don't either, which I think will put a lot of people off. And I could just already see it as well. Like, you know, people are just going to start putting up videos on YouTube and everything, just absolutely tearing this thing apart. Like, so I don't know. Maybe again, I don't really like purposely putting out negative content. You know, we talk negatively about stuff a lot on the podcast, but that's not. I don't go in with the intent to start shitting on something to try and get views. I'm just talking shit about something because it's shit. You know, I'm just being
Right.
real. You know, like I'm like I call it as it is. You're the same. You know, I'm not trying to grease up the wheels and, you know, try and get free shit out of a company, you know, and by just talking fake shit. Like, you know, I'm just, if something's bad, I'm just gonna say sorry guys, you didn't win with this one, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And that's it. Like, on to the next one. Try wow me in the next one. Like, you know, I'm always gonna come back. Like, you know, they don't have to worry about selling tickets to me. I'm always gonna buy them. You know what I mean? Like, I'll always go see the next superhero movie, unless it's something that I really don't give a shit about. Then I'll watch it on digital or whatever. But you know, if there's something in the MCU, DCU, all that sort of shit, I'm definitely going to watch it.
Right.
100%. Like my tickets are bought. Like they don't worry about people like us. We're not the people they need to worry about because we're going either way. You know,
Right.
they need to worry about getting the normies back in. So how they do that, I don't know. I think like the whole chair stream where they were like, announcing the cast of Doomsday and, bringing Downey back. And I think they're going to start slowly dripping a few more big people out. Like Chris Evans will get announced that he's officially coming back. And you know what I mean? Like they'll start building the hype that way. And then it'll just be one of those things where it's an event, it's a spectacle. You have to go see it on the big screen. You can't get spoiled. And that's how they make the billion again, easily.
Do you think that his announcement that he wasn't going to show up was a faux pas?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he still has appearances on his contract left. Like I think it was released in like 2020. I think like before COVID, it was announced that he had he had signed a contract to do at least 2 more appearances. So one of them obviously was Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think he has at least 1 more. And whether it's going to be Doomsday or if it's going to be Secret Wars, it'll definitely be 100% be Secret Wars, but I think we'll get more Evans than that. I think we could potentially get 3 or 4 appearances from him, because there was rumors that he was going to do his own little Disney Plus series. Now maybe that might be harder to pull the trigger on now because Disney Plus is such a fucking failure. Like he might just be like, guys, I don't really want to be part of a show that's going to flop. But to be honest, if if Chris Evans returned for a show, that show would be a success. Well, actually, sorry, I say that. I said the same thing about Daredevil, and that while it was good, it wasn't where it should have been. It didn't perform how it should have been. It wasn't received well like it should have been. Like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, it should have been the easiest home run of their fucking careers, and it just wasn't. Like the quality just wasn't the same. It wasn't there. So I would hope that if they do get Chris Evans to come back and do like a Nomad six-part series, like I think everyone wants the series of Cap returning the stones, a stone each episode or something like that. It would be so fucking cool. That's what that's what everyone wants. And then by the end of it, he either decides to go back and then spend his time with Peggy, and that's old man Cap that we meet at the end of Endgame, or maybe something else happens. Maybe that's how he decides, like he hears something in the time stream, like, oh shit, like who's this Doom guy? I gotta go help, and then that's how he gets to Secret Wars. I think that's what happened in the comics. I think like he ended up an older version of Cap, like the original Cap was in like the time stream and then ended up in Secret Wars, and that was like how he returned like the first time. Or something. I think I didn't read it, I don't know, but that's what I heard. So like something like that would be really, really cool. And like I only saw an interview with him today. Like he's still in great shape and like he still looks the exact same. So like he could easily just step back into the role easily. And like I wouldn't ever expect, and it was the same with Jackman. Like, it was amazing that Jackman got like shredded again, but I just want Jackman back. Like I don't need him to be shirtless and like, looking jacked. Like I know he's getting up there in the age, like he's in his mid-50s now. So like I would never expect him to just be like roiding up and putting his health in jeopardy to look as shredded as he can. Like I just keep his fucking shirt on, like give him the leather jacket. Like I don't give a fuck. Just he's got the claws and he's himself and he's acting like a badass. That's all we really need. And same with Cap. We don't need Evans to look like Captain America. Like he can be a healthy weight and just wear the suit, and they could pad the suit, and no one's really going to give a shit because everyone's just going to be so happy to have Chris Evans back in the MCU. They don't really. They're not going to be looking for seeing that he's still like jacked up to bits. Like, cause I think isn't he in his late 40s now? I think so. Like, he's getting up there too. Yeah, he's getting up there too. Like it's harder and harder for these guys to do this stuff healthily and safely. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's what's going to happen anyway. I heard a crazy one of my friends sent me this crazy Star Wars thing, which I'll explain it to you. Just it's kind of, I thought it'd be something kind of cool to talk about for a minute. But basically, in I believe one of the newest Star Wars comics, they revealed that when Luke lost his hand at the end of Episode 5, I believe this is canon now, but I believe what happened was Palpatine found the hand. And I think they did this in the extended universe as well, in Legends, as they call it now. They did the same thing where Luke's hand was found, and in Legends, they made a clone of Luke, and they called him like Luke, like instead of Luke, it was like Looke, like Luke. So he was like
Look over there.
he was like an evil version of Luke Skywalker, like called Luke Skywalker,
Hmm.
and he obviously becomes a big threat, and um the Emperor hires Mara Jade to kill Luke, and she's kind of been like kind of brainwashed by the dark side to kill Luke, and she ends up falling for Luke, but she's under this spell, like basically that like she has these orders, she has to fulfill these orders. So
Hmm.
the loophole that they make is that she actually kills the clone, and then that kind of breaks the spell, and then she falls in love with Luke, gets married, they have kids, blah blah blah. End of it. Like obviously, in my opinion, the Luke story we all should have got. Like that's the real Luke story, not him just like becoming a loner on an island and dying to the Force, a Force overdose, and then he dies. Anyway, but basically, I think what they've done in canon comics now is same kind of story. Palpatine finds the hand, but he starts making clones with the hand, and it's insinuated that the clones that he makes, one of them is Snoke. So Snoke is kind of made from like a mixture of Palpatine and Luke's DNA. So Palpatine is obviously making all these clones to try and move his essence into one of these clones and live forever or whatever. Like that's kind of his entire deal. Like the whole
Right.
story of the dark side at that time is to live forever. So what they're saying now, and I think what they're trying to insinuate now, there was obviously a lot of backlash about Rey saying that she was Rey Skywalker. Rey's dad is a clone of Palpatine, which makes her Palpatine her grandfather, right? Or technically her father. Um, but now with the fact that the clones were half Skywalker, Rey actually does have a tie to the Skywalkers, so she technically is Rey Skywalker now.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how they've like tried to fix it in the canon, I suppose.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why they want to try to fix it. It's already been done, man.
Oh, like I don't think you're ever going to be able to save it, but at the same time, it's like I understand why they're trying to do it now because there's talks of them potentially doing another Rey movie, and I think the newly announced Ryan Gosling movie set like 10 years after Rey's movie, so she might be in it, and if she starts rocking around the universe calling herself Rey Skywalker, I think a lot of the fan base could like have that reaction again of like, no, she's not a Skywalker, fuck that, like she's a Palpatine. So now I
Mhm.
think they can kind of reference this and go like, well, actually she's a half and half, like, or whatever, or a bit of both. So I don't really know what to make of it, but I don't like it. Like the dude who sent it to me, he's a friend of mine, like, and I was just like, I don't like this. And I still don't like her as a Skywalker, but I suppose now technically she is.
Oh boy. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I mean if they're really maybe they're under contract with was her name Daisy Ridley?
Yeah.
Maybe they're under contract with her and they have to do shows or movies. Or maybe they're just really set on having her being the next big thing.
I heard her.
And because like good.
I was gonna say I heard a rumor that they would potentially do a movie where they go like so far into the future that Rey's an old woman and like Helen Mirren was gonna play her. I think that was on the table at one point, and then they kind of flipped back to Daisy because I think she expressed interest in coming back. So they're like, okay, if Rey wants to come back, we'll do like another movie, but it's like set close to episode 9, so it's episode 10 technically, and it's 10 years after, and she's got her own Jedi Academy now, and it's kind of like they'll do the story of Luke the way it should have been done, I'd say, but just using Rey instead. I would say,
Gotcha.
yeah, I think so. That'd be my guess. The easy way out for them, I suppose.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, sorry. What were you going to say there?
Oh, I don't remember now. Like
Sorry.
I was like,
Sorry.
oh, you're good.
Did you hear about the white Black Panther? Did you hear these rumblings online?
No.
So there was a kind of joke, kind of fan casting for Ryan Gosling to become the next Black Panther. Like it was memed
Mhm.
around the internet a lot, and basically, I believe in an Elseworlds kind of multiverse comic. There's a story that's come out only recently where the new Black Panther is a white man with blonde hair, and this is like an official Marvel story. And apparently, he is a like descendant of T'Challa in this universe. So now it's kind of kicked off this whole like, oh my God, Gosling as the Black Panther, and like while yes they're doing it in a comic book, like Disney don't have the balls to make this in like live action on the big screen. Like there's no way they would do this. Like I'd be shocked, and I think a lot of people are kind of, oh, everyone's kind of kicking off now, and like now it's a problem with the race swapping and all this stuff. Like there's all that going on online now. It's like, now everybody has a problem with it because it's going to be a white guy, So yeah, I just thought it was funny. I was wondering if you'd heard about it. I think it would be so, like, again, I don't care who plays the Black Panther, obviously it doesn't matter, I would like it to be a black guy. I think it was the vibe of the first one was so cool, and I just loved watching the culture and everything. I thought it was great. I'm learning stuff about the culture as I'm watching these movies. I know nothing about it, so like that's kind of what's special about those movies to me. And obviously, the representation for all the young black kids and stuff. Like there'd be fucking riots, man, if they brought out a poster for Black Panther 3 and it was fucking Ryan Gosling. Like, that'd be just like, what? Like people would, and I understandably people would take an offense to that. Like they'd have to. It's like you're gonna like take one of our only like blockbuster superheroes and turn him white. Like I would understand anybody who had that argument for it. Yes, you're entitled to that. I think, like personally, but I just don't think that while they're doing it in a comic book and it's kind of one of these like wacky stories, I think it's cool. Like yeah, go for it. Multiverse. Endless possibilities. He could have like his wife could be white in this version, and like she just gets the predominant genes or whatever. Like I'm sure it's possible in genetics, like in some shape or form. But I just thought they're not doing it in the MCU. Like I'm sorry, like even if I think like if you think to like the end game scene, like the final fight in Endgame, if they do something like that, like in Secret Wars, and like a white Black Panther pops up or something, even that I think would be too much. Like I think that'd be like kind of crazy to a lot of people. I kind of enjoy it, honestly. I think it'd be kind of cool, but it'd just be so wild at the same time.
Be so weird.
It would be weird. Like imagine, like we get a Black Panther, and it's like Wakanda forever, and like that, like the like the nanotech helmet comes off, and it's like Ryan Gosling instead of there. Everyone's be like, "What the fuck?" It'd be very funny. Be very funny. Do you have anything to bring up? Do you have any like anime news or anything like that?
Anime news, nothing in particular. I guess personally, like I decided to, I don't know why, just maybe because I was just really interested, because I figured why not. I decided to pick up the One Piece trading card game.
Cool.
And start that out. But I know it's a fucking rabbit hole of fucking money, dude. Like it is already, like I've already spent probably like $400.
Oh, dude, I got back into Pokemon, and it's literally the worst time in the history of Pokemon to get back into it. Like the hobby is the most expensive it's ever been, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start buying packs now. I think it's like the pocket game is like causing me to like, because I'm playing the pocket game every day, and I'm like, I want to open some real cards. Like, dude, I've got like stacks of cards, bro. Stacks on stacks. Like all the bulk is just sitting here piling up, and like I've got a few like kind of good cards that I've put in like plastic. Like I'm like, oh my god, I got a pull. I'm like, woohoo, put it in like protectors and all. But like it's gambling, bro. Like I'm just like, yeah, look at this Pidgeotto, let's go.
Oh, absolutely.
And the kids enjoy it as well. Like my daughter, she's only 2.5, and like she's like, packs, can we open packs and stuff? Like, so she's like, I'm kind of doing it for her too. Like I'm like, I'm like, so fucking cool, dude. Like I love the arts and stuff. Like look at the trainers. The trainers are sick. So cool.
Oh, those are really cool.
Yeah, but like it's just, dude, like it's. I'm doing it the worst time ever. I just can't.
I know, right? Like it's a boom. It's a fucking boom right now. There's a huge boom with trading card games, like, and Pokemon's kind of the big one right now.
Oh, yeah.
But like One Piece is just getting fucking bombarded. I went over to like my local, I went to a local, and they're like, dude, we can't get any cards. Like we're just not big enough. So I was like, okay, let me go to a retailer. Retailer's fucking empty. So then I'm like, okay, let me go to the mall. let's go to this one shop that I usually go to that has a bunch of like board games and trading card games and whatnot. And they're like, and I'm like, do you have anything? And they're like, yep, we have all the current starters. We have like a previous starter, and we have a couple boosters if you like. We only have a limited 2 per person per day, and it's like,
Give me
okay,
everything.
yeah. I literally was like, give me one of each starter. Give me 2 of those packs. If you have anything else, I'll take it. Give me some sleeves. Give me some perfect sleeves. Give me some like, and I'm like, shit, I don't have a binder. And so I was like, so I was looking online. And I'm like, where do I find like a
thing, bro? I'm going through the exact same thing.
Well, like for me, I can keep going. For you, it's like, I don't know where you're gonna stop, because like you have kids too, and they're gonna want to like keep going.
Bro, I can't, like, again, Pokemon's been out for 30 years. Each set is like impossible to get. So like there's a new set that just came out called Destined Rivals. I randomly, like, again, I'm like searching the internet trying to find anywhere that sells packs. Like they bring out like the ETBs, like the Elite Trainer boxes. You can't get them. They don't exist. Or you can buy them for like 3 times the MSRP if you want to pay like fucking $200 for a potential 10 pack, and you know, you get nothing in them. Like, it's like, I don't want to be that person that like buys the ETBs and keeps them sealed. Like, I want to open them. I want to crack the packs. I'm a ripper. Like, I want to rip them open. I want to try and find the hits, you know. And it's like, Pokemon is in such a shit place that, you know, I was out on Sunday, for Father's Day. I went out to pick up my dad some records in a record shop, and I went to pay, and I saw on the top shelf behind the cashiers, there was like a couple of like Pokemon collection boxes, premium collection boxes, and I was like, oh my God, they've got Pokemon in the wild. I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, how much is that box up there? And your one's like, oh, it's like $50. And I was like, yeah, throw it in. I was like, I'm seeing it out in the wild. I can't believe it. That's how bad it is over here. I like, you can't, like, I go into my comic book shop, any Pokemon, they're like, nah, we've nothing. Then like I go onto all the websites, you know, like all the toy shops, you go onto the website, everything's sold out. Pre-orders they don't even do pre-orders. You know, like the day that the new set came out, I was streaming that night on my laptop beside me. I had the toy shop open, 12 o'clock on the dot. I was like, BRB chat, refresh the page, the whole site crashed, you know. And then like I eventually get like to the homepage, I type in Pokemon, every single Pokemon product on the site is just taken down. They're just giving up. Like, that's how crazy Pokemon is. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, bro. I actually found on AliExpress, I found like a Chinese set, and I ordered it. I was like, holy shit, I can order this. I was like, this is crazy. Like, so it's like, I'm kind of ordering, which is like the worst place to be in, but I'm kind of ordering like anything I could just get my hands on. So I'm like getting like drips and drabs of different sets. Like, I can't just decide, like, you know, okay, there's a new set out, let's just, you know, go for the master, let's set and try and collect it all. It would probably take a year. It would probably take years and cost you thousands to do it. Like the biggest YouTubers in the world are having problems trying to get stock and trying to finish master sets and stuff. Like, it's insane.
It's definitely insane. Like, I know that there's a site called TCG Player, and I'm kind of tempted to try to order like at least one booster box. They do have some of the recent booster boxes for One Piece. Yeah. I went on Amazon because I was like, maybe I'll get a deal. Maybe because I was like trying to do like the price range, you know, per pack, you know, to box. Yeah. And I managed to get one box of the second most recent, and then one box that was like a couple generations back. So I'm excited to pull those open. And
how many packs are in the booster boxes? Is it like 36?
24.
Okay, 24. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good. And how much are you paying for the booster boxes?
I think it was like 120 for like the earlier one, and then the other one was like 124 or something like that. Yeah. Like, I think the booster pack or like booster packs, I think are like 5 or 6. So if you kind of like, you know, try to get as close to like 120 as possible, I think you're getting your money's worth. But it's just, it's fucking bananas, dude. Like I was thinking like, oh, maybe I can try to buy the older starter decks. Like, nope, you can't. Yeah. They're fucking gone. And then there's even the site. Like, if you go onto, like, I don't know if Pokemon has this, but like if you go onto the One Piece site for the trading card game, it's from Bandai, because Bandai's doing the whole setup for it. Mm-hmm. You have to check that site like on a daily basis just to see if they come out with anything new, because then you could pre-order it, because then they'll be like, oh, we've got like these brand new sleeves if you want these sleeves to look cool, or if you want this new binder, if you want this limited edition box, like. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into?
Oh, dude, I know, I'm the same. And like, anytime I'm like, if I'm ordering something on Amazon now, I'm like, I had to order something for the house, and then I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna just type in Pokemon here," and I'm like, "I'm doing an Amazon order anyway. I'll try and get like a collection box or something like that." And then like they do these collection boxes where like you might get like 4 or 6 packs in it, and you might get like a couple of promo cards, and then you'll get like a big jumbo card as well. And like I give the
Mhm.
jumbo card to my daughter. I don't give a shit about it. I don't want it. And like she's like loving life, having like a big giant Pokemon card that she can run around with and all. So I'm like, oh, like she's obviously giving out to be like, oh, you're spending too much money on this Pokemon shit now. I'm just like, look, like they both love opening the packs, and then obviously I do as well. And then like I give her the big card, and the promo cards are cool as well. And like they did like the McDonald's run, and like me and my son like got all the cards for the McDonald's run. It was only like 15 to complete the set, like, but that was fun to do as well, like, because again it wasn't too expensive, and obviously it was just fun to pull the cards. Like I went one of the nights before he went to bed, I was like, oh, do you want to go and get a McFlurry? We'll go through the drive-through. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, we'll get some Pokemon cards while we're out as well. Like, fuck it, And then we went in, and I had said I only needed one card to get to finish the set. And I said, look, this is I found it on my phone. I showed him the card, and then we're driving home, and he's like, can I open a pack now? I was like, go on, open it. And the first card he sees is the one card we need to complete the set. And just,
Nice.
yeah, and like it just he lost his shit. He was like, because he kind of like cracked it up and he went Dragonite, and I was like, "Are you serious, Dragonite? The first card?" And like he was like,
That's
"I was like,
awesome.
are you ripping the piss with me? Are you pulling like you pulling a fast one?" And he's like, "No, seriously." And he shows it to me like, and he was just so giddy and all. I'm like, that's what it's all about, the pulls, and getting excited about pulls. Like that's the beauty of it. And I'm like, obviously it's expensive, but to see that look on his face, I was like, that's what it's all about. I wish I could have
Oh yeah,
recorded it, because I was like, that's the magic right there. But yeah, it's a
it,
fucking it's an expensive hobby, bro. Whoa.
it
Like
really is.
I'm trying to find like ETBs for like Destined Rivals, and like the last one, um, the prismatic evolutions, like, and you just can't find them. It's impossible. Like like there's some Irish sites that are going up now, like of like kind of independent sellers and stuff, and you just can't find anything. It's crazy. Like they sell like older ETBs, but they're still like more expensive than like the MSRP. And like I was stupidly thinking like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get one of these Destined Rivals ETBs like when they come out, and they were only like 65 euros. And I'm like, if I could get one of them, that'd be the best thing ever. Like, and just again, tried on day one, not a chance. I ended up
Mhm.
randomly finding a site that would allow you to buy 6 loose packs for like $5.99 each, and I was like, I'll buy them. Yeah, why not? That was the best I did in the whole run. Like I couldn't find anything bar that. And like again, they were like six max per customer. That's it. Like, so again, I'm
Damn.
like, yeah. And then like they charge you like $6 shipping as well on top of it. So it's like nearly $50 for 6 packs. Like you're just like, fuck, I can't be doing that. Like, like if it was up to me, like if money was no object, I'd be like fucking ordering like 6 packs every few days, like but it's like it's not sustainable. So yeah, it's rough. I'm kind of thinking if I do get one of these ETBs as well, like I'm like, do I just leave it sealed? Like, especially if I can find like a prismatic one, because it'll be probably worth like $700 or $800 in a few years' time. It's like if I can get one for like $120, $130 and just leave it sealed. Like, but that's not the fun. There's no, I don't like, again, it'd be great to have that and, flip it in a few years and make money. That's cool as well. But that's not why you're getting into it. I want to rip packs. Like I've seen like so many people that have like walls full of ETBs and all sealed products, booster boxes of like 36 packs. It's all sealed. And like, you can watch like the people who like sell the original pack, like the original booster boxes are going for like, I think like Logan Paul bought like 10 of them or something like that, spent like $5 million like on booster
Jeez.
boxes. It's insane, bro. Like he was buying the booster boxes at like 600,000 per box. Like, and like, 10 years ago, they were going for like $150. It's just insane, man. It's insane. Yeah. So I don't know. Like there's multiple sides to it. Like obviously me, I'm just enjoying opening cards and trying to pull hits. Whereas like people are like buying it to scalp it and resell it and keep it sealed and hold on to it for 10 years. And like some of them just become crazy valuable. It's a wild hobby, man. Wild hobby. And I'm sad,
It
but
really is.
I'm coming into it at the worst time possible. Like I used to collect the cards when I was a kid, and like there could be a collection in my mom's attic. Like I was only talking to my dad the other day. He's like, I'm going up into the attic next week. I'll have a look for some Pokemon cards for you. I was like, if you find any fucking like first editions up there, we could be laughing. We'll have a couple of new houses coming. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised as well if my mom just threw them all out. Like they were worth nothing back then. Like, so I would understand, but Yeah, jeez,
That's the
imagine,
crazy thing.
imagine you found a binder of like, you know, OG shit, like original
Oh,
hollows and stuff.
you'd lose your shit. It'd be
I
so
know,
fucking amazing.
I know. That's the, yeah, maybe we'll see.
Do you play it all?
I played the Pocket, the game, like the game on mobile, and it's
Mhm.
great fun. It's great fun. I don't play the physical game. Like, I wouldn't have decks. Like, I wouldn't even be able to play the game right now. I wouldn't have enough cards to play it properly. Like, you know, you'd need
You
like,
mean like if you were like with what you have, what you're playing, like what you're using is collecting. What you're saying is that
I
you
wouldn't
don't
have
have like
enough.
your own deck
Yeah, like I
aside
wouldn't
from
have
what your
enough.
collection is.
Yeah, exactly. So like you can buy, I think you can buy like deck starter packs and stuff like that where it'll give you like a playable deck. And then like they usually with the ETBs as well, like you get like a stack of like 60 energies. Um, but I wouldn't even have like if I wanted to sit down with my kid and the two of us play, I wouldn't have enough cards to actually like create what is a legal deck because you need like 20 cards plus all the
Mhm.
energies as well. So at the moment it's physically not possible for me to play the game physically, but there's a Pokemon Pocket game, which like if you're in my Discord, like we have a Pokemon section, like and everyone's just posting all their pulls and everything. Like you get like 2 free packs a day, and you can spend money on the game as well if you want. And they bring out like a new set like every month, and it's just wild, bro. It's great. It's great
That's
fun.
pretty cool.
It is. It's great. Like, and even if you're not a Pokemon fan, just download the game. It's free, and you can open 2 packs a day for free. And it's just like when you get the hits in the game, like it feels great. Like it does. Like there's like gold cards and there's loads of cool shit. I'm trying to find a way to like get my phone to connect up with OBS so that I can do some streaming of it because I'd love to stream some battles and stuff. I see a lot of people streaming it and making YouTube content on it, but it's all done on Android, so I don't really know if there's like if there's an Apple version of it that I could use.
There's gotta
Um,
be, man.
there
There's
has
gotta
to
be
be,
some
yeah.
people that have gotten around it.
There's some really good Android versions, and they're free, which is great. I found one on Apple, but they only give you like a free trial for it, and then they're looking to charge. So I don't know if I'd stream it enough to want to be paying a subscription just to be able to fucking share my screen on an Apple,
Gotcha.
you know. So if a free version pops up, or if anybody's listening to this and they know of a free Apple version that like actually lets you stream HD, let me know because I'll definitely start streaming some Pokemon Pocket because it's great fun, man. I absolutely love it. And even just like ripping packs or doing battles, or you can do like private battles as well, where you know, I can give out my friend code and the two of us can just battle each other online. Like it's great fun, great fun.
Yeah, I should probably look up stuff for the One Piece stuff. But I do have the physical card, so I'm kind of like debating on whether or not I want to actually try to do some physical games.
Yeah,
Because
I presume it's probably quite similar to the Pokemon TCG, is it? Like rules wise
I
and
don't
stuff.
I don't know. Like do you know the rules?
So you would have like usually like two of each character, and then you'd have like trainer cards and
Mhm.
powers and like you know ability cards and stuff like that. So you'd take your turn. You have to like add energy to each card. So like again, let me just see if I can get a card up on the screen here just to kind of show you. So like even like say this guy here. So like this guy here, you can see it's kind of hard to read it, but he has like 4 energy attached to his card.
Mhm.
So like you would have to, it would take you 4 turns to build up the energy for this guy to attack to do 130 damage, 230 damage. Jesus Christ! But like yeah, each card has like a kind of number at the top, so that's their life or their health, and then you know each card does different damage, so you can assign different energy to it to do different damages, and some of them require coin flips and stuff like that. Like so, there's the whole that side of it as well. But um, yeah, I think just from playing the pocket game, like I'd be able to play the real game. Um, it's just about being able to physically build the decks that you want
Mhm.
is the issue. Yo, Griff, what's up, dude? How are you?
I doing,
Yeah,
Griff?
I don't know. Like, again, I'd need to see the One Piece game in action just to see. Like, I'd know fairly quickly from looking at it if it was actually the same as Pokemon or not.
Well, I did play a couple rounds with or I did play one round with Katie.
Yeah,
So basically you have a leader. So you put your leader out, and your
yeah,
leader has a color, and so your character cards have to match that color. So if they're a single color, they can only be monocolor. If they have dual colors, they could be like any color, that match set.
yeah,
Um, and then like first person goes, they put like an energy card. Have you played Hearthstone?
No.
Okay, well, in Hearthstone, basically you get an energy per turn.
Yes, that's the same as Pokemon. Yeah.
Okay, so Pokemon does the same thing. Okay, so then yeah, you just start gaining energy as your turns go through.
Yeah.
And then essentially it's all about just attacking the enemy. And the only way you can only attack the leader at all times, or the characters that are on the field if they're rested.
Gotcha.
And instead of life points as akin to like Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like 8,000, 5,000, like,
Mhm.
it's pertains to how many cards you have in your life hand. So your leader could have like five life points, which means you get 5 cards on the side,
Mhm.
or they might have 4 or however many. Essentially, you every time you take a hit as a leader, you can pull one of those cards as your life point because you lose a life. But the cool thing about that is like some cards have triggers, so they only trigger during that portion. You can't tell what's in your life points. You just kind of draw and you put them down.
Yeah.
But that's essentially the whole point. Is basically you kind of fight back and forth. You attack each other, like you attack rested characters and leaders and stuff like that, and basically bring each other's health down. And then depending on what characters you're playing, they might be able to get life points back. All that kind of stuff. So like that's about the gist of it that I got so far from it, which is so far it's been fun. I had a Bonnie deck, which is basically all about like resting cards. So like anytime I activate like some sort of skill, essentially I can make one of my opponent's cards go into rested mode. So they can't attack on their turn, or like they can't say excuse me. Like I can make the leader cause someone from the opponent's team to go into rested when they try to attack me, so that I don't get attacked. So
Yeah.
basically, it was like kind of a control deck. Basically, like shut them down so that they don't attack me, but I can attack them.
Gotcha. So I'm just trying to find a video if I can see. I can't really see one right now, but I was looking for a video of just like a pocket battle in play, and just so you could see. Be easier to kind of explain it to you like with a visual, but it sounds very similar. Definitely very similar. So, they usually at the start of the Pokemon games they'll do a coin flip to see who goes first. If you go second, you get an energy card first. So usually you have to put your deck down so you can put one Pokemon into the fighting position, and then you have a bench of 3, and you can set up like 3 other Pokemon in the bench. And then like some Pokemon have different abilities. So like Pikachu, for example, there's like a gold version of Pikachu that he gets his attack will do more damage depending on how many people you have on the bench. So like
Mhm.
if you have him in the fighter spot and 3 in the bench, his attack does like 90, whereas if he's the only one out, it'll only do like 30 or whatever. So, and then like it only takes like 2 turns for you to be able to hit that as well. So it's nearly like, again, the deck will shuffle and give you a card randomly. So like you might not get like I think you start with like 5 cards are pulled or something. I think it's 5. So like
Mhm.
you could be lucky and get like 4 Pokemon and like a power or something. Or you could be unlucky and get like all supporter cards and like items, but then you don't have any Pokemon to put out. So I think they'll have to give you 1 Pokemon at least. But you could end up losing the game in the first turn if and I've won games in 1 turn before, where like if you play a Pokemon that is able to attack on 1 energy, like there's a like, again, like there's so many different sets of the cards. Like, so like for example, there could be like a Pikachu that has like an attack for 30 for 1 energy, but then a different version of them could not have that attack at all. So
Mhm.
I remember I was playing a ranked game, and I put out the other person put out 1 card. I put out like 3 cards, but my first card had an attack on 1, and because I got the tails and the coin flip, I went second, so I got the first energy, put the energy on, and this attack was 1 energy, does 20 damage, but it gives you a coin flip, and for every heads it adds 20 more damage. And I got I got like 4 heads in a row, so I did like 80 damage to the Pokemon on the first go with like a base level Pokemon, and that killed their only Pokemon on the thing. So I won the game with one try, basically 1 turn.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, it was crazy. I'd say the person was so pissed because I'd say they got a shit shuffle, and they probably got only 1 Pokemon went out, but the rest of their shit was probably like supporter items and stuff like that. Like, so they couldn't put out a second one, because you always put out at least 2 if you can, because if your first guy gets taken out, it'll automatically put the benched one up. Because if you don't have anything on the bench, you automatically forfeit. So it's the first to 3 wins, usually the first to 3 points wins.
Mhm.
And they have a thing as well, like they have like the higher the EX cards, they call them. So like if you have like an EX card, they're usually more powerful Pokemon and they have like better abilities and stuff. But if you can kill one of their EX cards, or you get 2 points. So really you just have to kill like a basic Pokemon and then an EX and then you win. So yeah, it's
That's
cool. It's
awesome.
cool. You should definitely download Pocket and give it a go. Like it's definitely worth a go. And then like even just to pull a few free packs, like it could be addictive, bro. It's great. It's great. Really
Yeah, man.
it's really good.
I'm already addicted to like the One Piece stuff. So like
Yeah.
this makes it worse considering like I'm a big fan. So
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, like I'm finding myself like watching people fucking ripping packs on while I'm working. Like I'll have like YouTubers ripping packs and stuff. Like I'm fully in. Like I'm balls deep, man. it's balls to the wall here, bro. It's rough. Like I'm watching like one of the biggest Pokemon collectors like online. Like I'll just have his channel up all the time. I saw he posted a video like an hour ago, and I already want to watch it. Like, you know, it's like I'm so deep in. Like it's crazy. Um, we might leave it there for the week if there's nothing else to talk about. Obviously, next week we're gonna have Ironheart episode 1 to 3, and I think we might have the bear as well. First couple of episodes of the bear. So like next week's episode might be jammed. This week we kind of just shot the shit. I appreciate anybody who was kind of hanging out with us. I know it was probably a bit of a quiet one, but we did our best, you know, with what we have, which is nothing at the moment. So I appreciate anybody who listened to us. If you're checking this out on a replay, maybe leave us a comment. What are you looking forward to this summer on the big screen, on the small screen? Let us know, you know, your most anticipated projects, and see you next week for the next one.
have a
Take
good
it
one.
easy, guys. Bye bye.